Hey, what's going on? I wanted to make a video here to show you how to upgrade from an older version of the Google Sheet Dividend Tracker to a newer version of the Google Sheet Dividend Tracker. So in this video, I'm going to go from version 3.3 to 3.4, but pretty much the method should work from any old version to any version that's newer than it, whether or not you have like one that's older or in the future you have one that's newer. So this video is really for people who already have the dividend tracker, but I guess if you're considering getting it, if you've been watching the videos and you've been thinking about it, this video might also help just to kind of see what it's like to work with a little bit. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, then definitely just check out my channel, because this is a dividend tracking Google Sheet that I've been using in lots of my videos, and yeah, a lot of other people are using it as well. And so this video is just to help people out. So to get started, you need to locate the original email that you received from Kofi when you got the Google Sheet, or any of the update emails that I've sent out anytime I make an update. But either way, you just click the link and it's going to take you back to the original Google Drive folder, which looks like this if you have it in list form, or this if you have it in grid form. Either way, if you already have the tracker, you will have seen this, but what you need to do is you just go in and click on the blank template. And as always, this is view only, so what you need to do is click File and make a copy. So you're making a copy of the newer version now, and so we can name it whatever. We'll just say example for YouTube, and when you hit save, then it's going to save this copy into your own Google Drive folder in like the main directory of your Google Drive. So now you have the latest version in your Google Drive, and what you need to do is you just need to copy and paste the values from the blue cells on the old one, like the user inputted cells that you've already put in, and copy and paste them into the new sheet. We don't have to do it in any particular order. We can just start from left to right. It doesn't matter. So we can start with the portfolio tab, come up here and go to the portfolio of the old version that you have. This doesn't need to be sorted. It doesn't matter, but you can sort it if you want. Either way, you just take the blue cells. We're going to come down until the bottom and grab all of them, copy, and come up here and hit paste. Okay, so when you do this, often it brings in this extra little like black box around here, and if you don't like that, what you need to do is just select, come up here to the borders and select no borders, but then that's going to take away the line under the top ones, and so you can just come back and drop in that as well, just to get it looking really nice. Okay, so the next one is sparkline. We don't have to do anything in here, but already the sparkline will be working if we want to select one, because now I can select anything that's in the portfolio. When we take a look at deposits and withdrawals, we have to put in all the information that we have here as well. So let's go back to the old version. We'll select deposits and withdrawals, and again we're just going to select all of the information here, all of the blue cells, everything that we have. We're going to copy that, and we're going to come in here and we're just going to paste it into the new one. Again, we're going to get the same thing here. So what we do, if you don't like that, just do that and select a bottom border. I don't know why it keeps doing this. I keep trying to like reset everything, but it always, I don't know, it likes to do that for some reason. Doesn't really matter. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing for transactions. Here again, we need to fill in the blue cells that we have. So we're going to come to the transactions on the old one. Yeah, I'm going from version 3.3 to 3.4 in this example, and these are in exactly the same order. If you do have an older version, or maybe this is far in the future and something has changed, just pay attention that these are actually in the same order, like ticker, date, buy, sell, trading fee, what currency did you pay, etc. Because some of the older versions, yeah, just have a slightly different order. In the case of an older version, you would just have to select like one column at a time, copy and paste. But if they are all in the same order, make sure you're at the top and select here and just go all the way down to the bottom. It's going to take a little while depending on how many you have. I've been busy. So copy, and we go to the new version, come in here and paste. Okay, again, we're just going to have to clean this up a little bit. So look at that, and here for some reason it only takes out those two. If anyone ever figures out like a way to stop that, just let me know. And then just come down and just take a quick look to make sure that everything looks okay. So I see some attention cells here. We're going to come right back to that. And for me, that's all I have. So when I look at this, this is basically, it's going to say here, looks like you paid Canadian dollars for this US stock. You need to override the value highlighted in the cell with the amount of Canadian dollars that you paid. It says don't double count it. I don't know why it's cutting off. Wow, don't double count the trading fee. Okay, so anyways, you already would have overridden these on the old ones. So we're going to locate cell 138, row 138, M and N in the old version. So we're going to come up to row 138, which is here. And this is where I paid Canadian dollars for the US stock. And if you look at the rest of these all have like some big formula. but these ones have been overridden with simply just values. You should know about that if you have these in here, because you would have followed the instructions to do that. There are some tips up here as well if you're not really sure what I'm talking about. Anyway, so we're just going to come in here and we're just going to paste. You can just hit Control V, and there you go. So now this one also is being, the formula has been overridden, and that's exactly what we want. And just cruising around here, we don't have any more attention things, so we're good to go. Keep a note here that like I had a stock split and I put a note in as well, and the note got preserved and transferred into the new version. So moving on, then we're going to get into the dividends tab. So we have blue cells here as well. So we'll go to the old version. We're going to go to the dividends, and again, just double check that these are in the same order, but if you're going, they should be all in the same order anyways, especially if you're going from 3.3 to 3.4. Come in here and just paste them into the new version. Again, just clean up this. Okay, there should be no funny business in here. It should be pretty straightforward. It is helpful just to make sure that it's, is successfully pulling in the month and the year, but it should just do that automatically. When we look at the convert money tab, you probably don't have anything in here, but just double check your version. I don't have anything in there, but just make sure, okay, like this one's empty. And then in the old one, we look at splits. So I did have some information in here for splits. So I'm just going to copy the blue stuff. I come to the new version, and I'm going to paste in to the new one. And there's also two blue cells here. So what did we have? $1.96 and 0.00. So we can just paste that in as well. Okay, so let's go back to the old version. We're just going to double check here in extra sparklines. We don't need to do anything in here. In the watch list, depending on what you want in your watch list, you can just copy the tickers and paste them. So let's actually do this. I think they might actually be the same, but anyways, I'll just copy. And we'll come in here to watch list, and I'll just paste. Okay, so it was a slightly different order. Again, we can just clean these up if you really want to, but it ultimately doesn't really matter. And for some reason, if you see here, like the formatting gets off during the copy and paste, that's no problem. Just select A and B. So this is going to take the whole row, and we can just vertical justify it, vertical align, just like that, like simple formatting just to make it look nice. Okay, so that is all of the copy and pasting that you need to do, I think, but we actually just want to come back and just double check. Take a look at the portfolio in each. So take a look at the old one and take a look at the new one. And if they look pretty much exactly the same, which they do, then we should be good. You can see actually the dividends are changing, for example, because these dividends are pasted in. This is like a relic of one of the old versions where the dividends are not automatic. But here the dividends are changing. But in general, like the rest of the formulas aren't changing, but it is good just to kind of quickly scan back and forth and make sure that everything looks like you expect it to look. So when we go also to the summary tab in both the old and the new one, there's something important here to see. For example, the old one, the dividends for me are working properly, and in the new one, now it's not going to work properly. So this is actually something I'm going to change in the future, but the way that it's designed right now is if you just come down here, these are the table values that control the bar chart. The way that I have it set up right now is I wasn't sure exactly what year and month each of you would be starting in, so I just have these to be typed in manually, but I'm going to basically in the future reference it from like the first cell here when you like the date of the first dividend. So that'll actually be coming out in the next version update. Someone actually suggested that to me just yesterday or today, I think, and I was like, oh yeah, of course, that makes sense. But I'm just making this as I go, so just bear with me. It's hopefully getting better over time. But yeah, so anyways, I just, because I didn't know exactly when people would start. Right now it's June 2021, so I just set it to this, but you're gonna have to adjust this to be appropriate for whatever you did. And actually there's a little bit of a typo here. So really my first dividend was actually received in September of 2020. So I'm just going to go here and type 2020 and September, and then 2020, and then October, and there we go. This is going to start looking better. And then I just drag this down, and you might have to do a little bit of working it to get the proper dates here. Like in January it switches to 2021. No, what are we doing? This is 2020, 2020, 2021, and there you go. So you just have to work with it a little bit. And like I said, in future versions, this might actually just be fully automated anyways, but yeah, just make sure it makes sense to you, basically. But once that's done, you can scroll up and you should just double check, switch between the summary page kind of rapidly here, and just like make sure that it looks appropriate or looks like what we were expecting. And actually we're missing some dividends here still, so you gotta be a little bit careful with this. I have the year wrong here, so 2021. And then I'll just drag this down as well. It's quite sensitive to putting in the right information. But let's take a look at this now. So there we go. That's looking perfectly between the old version and the new version. And you can also see here the yield is changing, and that's again because the yield is calculated differently between the two different versions. So anyways, I think that's it. That's all you have to do. Just make sure that when you're going through and copy and pasting, you're only taking the values from the blue cells. And for some of the pages that have like lots of columns, make sure that you're just actually taking the ones in the right order to make sure that everything transfers, and then just double check especially the summary and the portfolio pages. And if everything is looking perfectly exact, then you should be good to go and you're ready to continue using the newer version.